السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد. My dear brothers and sisters, inshallah, today we will talk about one of the salawat, one of the 5 daily prayers, and that is Salat al-Fajr in Jama'ah, in congregation, praying it together. What are the values, the virtues? What are the big rewards that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promises, and the good news that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had established for the Muslim who establishes and performs Salat al-Fajr, the morning prayer, at its fixed and appointed time in congregation or in Jama'ah. First of all, my dear brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala named a surah in the Quran after this salah, and it is known as Surah al-Fajr. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Wal Fajr. And the word al-Fajr is mentioned in the beginning of this surah. It is also mentioned at the end of one of the surahs that talks about the best night ever, the most blessed night ever, and that is the night of Al-Qadr. In Surah Al-Qadr, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّا أَنزَلْنَاهُ فِي لَيْلَةِ الْقَدْرِ وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ ليلة القدر خير من 1000 شهر تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر. So we notice, my dear brothers and sisters, at the end of the surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also talks about Al-Fajr. Salamun, the night of Al-Qadr, it's peace until the rise of the dawn, until the rise of Al-Fajr, or until the Fajr Salah. So, due to the honor and the significance of this Salah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not only mention it in Surah Al-Fajr and Surah Al-Qadr, but it is also mentioned in Surah Al-Isra. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the 5 daily prayers, in that surah, in Surah Al-Isra, what did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say? He says, أقم الصلاة لدلوك الشمس إلى غسق الليل وقرآن الفجر إن قرآن الفجر كان مشهودا. أقم الصلاة لدلوك الشمس إلى غسق الليل وقرآن الفجر إن قرآن الفجر كان مشهودا. We notice here, my dear brothers and sisters, and I want you to pay attention to this ayah. It's a very special ayah. This ayah in Surah Al-Isra talks about the 5 daily prayers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in this ayah the 5 daily prayers. He says, أقم الصلاة لدلوك الشمس. Establish the salah at the decline of the sun. And we know that at the decline of the sun, we have 2 salah. Salatul Dhuhr, which is after the sun declines towards the west, and Salatul Asr, when the shadow of the object becomes exactly the same length of the stature of that object. And he says, إلى غسق الليل. غسق الليل refers to the darkness of the night. And the darkness of the night, we have 2 salah. We have Salat al-Maghrib and Salat al-Isha. So he says, أقم الصلاة لدلوك الشمس. This is Dhuhr and Asr. إلى غسق الليل. This is Maghrib and Isha. وقرآن الفجر. This is a Fajr Salah. إن قرآن الفجر كان مشهودا. and he's giving more importance to the recitation of the Quran during in the Fajr Salah. He says, and especially the Quran that is recited in the Fajr prayer. وقرآن الفجر. Indeed, Quran al-Fajr kana mashhuda, meaning that it is being witnessed by the angels. Now, let's count the words of this ayah, my dear brothers and sisters. Let's count the words of this ayah. The words of this ayah is أقم, that's one. الصلاة, two. لدلوك, three. الشمس, four. إلى, that's five. غسق, that's six. الليل, seven. And then وقرآن, that's eight. الفجر, that's nine. إن, that's 10. قرآن, that's 11. الفجر, that's 12. كان, that's 13. مشهودة, 14. Now, how many words we have in this ayah? We have 14 words in this ayah. The first 7 words of the ayah talk about 4 salawat. What are the first 7 words of the ayah? أقم الصلاة لدلوك الشمس إلى غسق الليل. That's 7. This part of the ayah talks about Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, and Isha. And then وقرآن الفجر إن قرآن الفجر كان مشهودا. Another 7 words. So the ayah is divided into 2 parts. The first part of the ayah, which consists of 7 words, talk about 4 salawat: Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, and Isha. And the second part of the ayah, which also consists of 7 words, talk about 1 salah, and that is Salat al-Fajr. That is Salat al-Fajr. That will tell us, my dear brothers and sisters, how important Salat al-Fajr is. How important and valuable to wake up for this salah and to abandon the sleep at that time and to make wudu and to pray Fajr in Jama'ah for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, my dear brothers and sisters, adding to what is mentioned in the Quran about Salat al-Fajr, that Allah named the surah after it, and He ended the surah talking about it, and He talks about the 5 salawat in one ayah. Half of this ayah is specified to 4 salah, and the second half of the ayah is dedicated to only 1 salah, and that is Salat al-Fajr. From the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, let's see what the Prophet ﷺ said about Salat al-Fajr in Jama'ah. The one who keeps Salat al-Fajr in congregation in Jama'ah, the Prophet ﷺ said about him, as narrated by بريدة الأسلمي رضي الله تعالى عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه قال: بشر المشائين في الظلم إلى المساجد بالنور التام يوم القيامة. بشر المشائين في الظلم إلى المساجد بالنور التام يوم القيامة. What does this hadith mean? This hadith means give the good news to those who walk during the darkness, or they walk in the darkness, to the masajid. Give them the good news of the perfect and the complete light on the day of judgment. Now, someone might say the masajid now are not available for the salah in jama'ah. But my dear brothers and sisters, if someone, if someone is in the habit of going to the masjid for salat al-jama'ah, and for some reasons or for an excuse, a valid excuse, he couldn't go to the masjid to do the salah in jama'ah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will continue giving him the reward of doing the salah as long as he does it in time, regardless where he does it. Maybe he is doing it at home, or doing it at work, or doing it at some other place, but he cannot go to the masjid, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give him the same reward. Why? Because originally this person's heart is connected to the masjid. And what prevented him from going to the masjid? He did not stop going to the masjid. It's something out of his hand, something out of his control, like the current situation that we have right now. That many people used to come to the masjid to do the salah in jama'ah. Now, they cannot come to the masjid to do the salah in jama'ah because of what is happening, and for the sake of safety and protection, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will continue rewarding them according to their intentions. Because I am positive that if those people that used to come to the salah in jama'ah, if this problem is resolved today and they have the chance to come to the masjid, they will not hesitate a single moment. They will not hesitate as for a second to come to the masjid to do the salah in jama'ah, because their hearts are attached to the masjid. قلوبهم معلقة في المساجد أو في المساجد كما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. That's why I'll give you an evidence for that from the Quran. The Prophet, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ. We have created the man in the best form. ثُمَّ رَدَدْنَاهُ أَسْفَلَ سَافِلِينَ. Then we return him to the lowest of the lowest. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ فَلَهُمْ أَجْرٌ غَيْرُ مَمْنُونٍ. Except to those who believe and act righteously, they will have a continuous reward that will not be interrupted. Now, how can we quote this ayah or these ayat as evidence that the one who is in the habit of doing a good deed, and for some reasons he cannot do them anymore, and it's out of his hand, and he is not the one that is making excuses not to do it, but it's out of his control, how he can continue reaping the reward and harvesting the virtues of that actions and that deed. Let's look at the ayat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, well, it means we have created man in the best stature, the best form. That refers to the youth stage, when the person is strong, healthy, and he doesn't have any problem, any healthy issue, and he can perform so many good deeds. He can pray, he can fast, he can read Quran, he can do Qiyam al-Layl, he can do so many good things. Subhanallah al-Azim. And then this person now became old. And because of the old age, he cannot perform the same righteous and good deeds that he used to do before. Now, becoming old, this is out of his control. This is a stage, this is a period of time that each and every one of us will pass by. So, it's not in our hand that we will stay young all the time. الله الذي خلقكم من ضعف ثم جعل من بعد ضعف قوة ثم جعل من بعد قوة ضعفا وشيبا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran what it means. Allah created you weak. خلقكم من ضعف. Then he made you strong. ثم جعل من بعد ضعف قوة. ثم جعل من بعد قوة ضعفا وشيبة. And then after that strength, after being healthy, he made you old, and now you become sick. So it's not in your hand. So the ayah in Surah At-Tin, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِلَّا, except those who believe and act righteously, they will have a reward that will never be interrupted. What does this mean? It means that if the person, during his young age, when he was able to do the good deeds and to establish the righteous actions and the virtuous deeds for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if during that time he was giving his 5 daily prayers on time, and he used to stand up in the salah, do them, perform and establish them properly, perfectly, he used to fast, he used to work and get money and give in charity and spend on his family and do so many good things. But now, when this person becomes old, what happens? Now, he cannot pray standing up. Now he's praying sitting down. He will continue getting the reward of the prayer as if he is performing it standing up. Now he cannot fast, but he will give an expiation, feeding a needy person for every day that he cannot fast. He is missing in fasting. If he can, and if he cannot feed a needy person, then he's excused. Then this person will continue getting the same reward as he used to get it when he was fasting. The same thing. If the person was able to work and to get money and give in charity, and now he can hardly make both ends meet, he cannot give any more. But when he was healthy and could work, he could give in charity. Now he cannot do this. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will continue giving the reward to the person with no interruption. This is the meaning of this ayah. ثُمَّ رَدَدْنَاهُ أَسْفَلَ سَافِلِينَ. Allah returned him to the lowest of the lowest, meaning that he got into an old age. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, but there is an exception. Don't worry about your actions and your deeds. Do as much as you can. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not burden a soul beyond its capacity, beyond its ability. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not shoulder us with actions and deeds that we cannot perform. Religion is easy. إن الدين عند الله الإسلام. إن الدين يسر, as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in his hadith. إن الدين يسر. Indeed, the religion is easy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not want to make it hard for us. وَمَا جَعَلَ عَلَيْكُمْ فِي الدِّينِ مِنْ حَرَجٍ. He did not make the religion hard for you. He made it easy for you. And you will enjoy it if you get used to it. And if you do it with love and with sincerity for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will love it and you will enjoy it. So my dear brothers and sisters, this hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in which he says, بشر المشائين في الظلم إلى المساجد بالنور التام يوم القيامة. This is the first reward and good news that the Prophet ﷺ is giving to the one who is in the habit of keeping Salat al-Fajr in Jama'ah. And when we pray Fajr, we normally pray the Sunnah of the Fajr before the Fajr Salah, which is 2 rak'ah. And the first rak'ah we read Surah Al-Fatiha and قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ. And in the second rak'ah we read Al-Fatiha and قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. That is for Sunnah al-Fajr. And same thing also applies to Sunnah al-Maghrib, the Sunnah for the Maghrib Salah. But for the Sunnah al-Fajr, you know what the Prophet ﷺ said about it? رَكَعَتَا الْفَجْرِ خَيْرٌ مِّنَ الدُّنْيَا وَمَا فِيهَا. ركعتا الفجر ركعتا الفجر خير من الدنيا وما فيها. The 2 rak'ah sunnah for Salat al-Fajr, these 2 rak'ah are much better than this world and what it has. Subhanallah. That means that the one who wakes up for Fajr and does Sunnah al-Fajr, pray Sunnah al-Fajr, and then pray Fajr prayer in Jama'ah, he will be considered as the wealthiest person. He will be considered as the wealthiest person in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, inshallah ta'ala, I will stop here today. And still, inshallah, next session, I'm going to continue talking about the values and the virtues, the rewards of Salat al-Fajr. But please remember what we talked about today regarding Salat al-Fajr. It's mentioned in the Quran few times. We have it in Surah al-Fajr, beginning of the surah, and the surah is named after it. At the end of Surah al-Qadr, there's an ayah talks about the 5 daily salah. Half of the ayah talk about 4 of them, and the second half talk about Salat al-Fajr. And remember the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, that the good news for the one who is keeping Salat al-Fajr in Jama'ah, give him the good news of the perfect light on the Day of Judgment. My dear brothers and sisters, why do we need the light on the Day of Judgment? Keep in mind the sirat, the path that is stretched on Jahannam, and we have to cross it to go to Jannah. Inshallah ta'ala, we ask Allah that we will all be of the dwellers of Jannah, Firdaus al-A'la, inshallah ta'ala. So this sirat is very thin and is very sharp, and it is also dark. So we need the light. How can we get this light? We get it from the Fajr Salah and the Isha Salah. Bashir al-Masha'een, give the good news to those who walk to the Salah in darkness, to the Masajid with the perfect light on the Day of Judgment. And the second value that we talked about today regarding Salat al-Fajr is the 2 rak'ah sunnah of the Fajr. They are much better than this world and what it has. ركعة الفجر خير من الدنيا وما فيها. We'll still have, inshallah, something to say about Salat al-Fajr. We'll continue, inshallah, talking about it. It's very important to emphasize on this salah. It is very tough and difficult for many people to wake up for this salah. But remember, when we recall all these rewards and all these values and virtues, I think we will, inshallah ta'ala, sacrifice that sleep and we will wake up for Fajr in order to achieve all these benefits and all these values and virtues. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us from those who establish the salawat and those who are able to wake up for the Fajr and to do it at its fixed time in Jama'ah, in congregation. Whenever it is available in the masjid, we do it in the masjid. Whenever it's not available in the masjid, then we do it in Jama'ah with our families at home, and we wake them up for the Fajr Salah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept it from all of us, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make all of us from those who listen to the words and follow the best of them. نسأل الله أن يجعلنا جميعا من الذين يستمعون القول فيتبعون أحسنه أولئك الذين هداهم الله وأولئك هم أولو الألباب جزاكم الله خيرا سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. We'll see you inshallah again in another session related to this subject, the subject of Salat al-Fajr. جزاكم الله خيرا والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.